Hello, I'm Courtney Holland. Welcome to Save Our Towns, a series designed to guide and inspire those who are working hard in Appalachia to build strong communities. The episodes, created by Outreach and International Affairs at Virginia Tech, aim to celebrate what is great about small towns and also connect you with experts, resources, and more. In this final episode of Season 6, you'll learn why small spaces can make a big difference. Small Town Big Number paints a rosy picture for the arts in rural economies. Then it's back to Glade Spring, the Virginia town we're following for a year. Your expert tip focuses on what drives community growth, and then it's 3 questions for a mayor. First, your example of awesome story. Like many towns, Radford, Virginia had pockets of land left behind by changing neighborhoods. Town leaders found a solution that is not only green, but also trendy. Diane Deffenbaugh reports.
Abandoned properties can devastate a town. In Appalachia, the problem is severe. Vacancy, economic distress, crime, and long-term population loss all are linked. Radford, Virginia chose a creative solution. This city of about 18,000 people along the New River is best known as home to Radford University. But the city was the region's commercial center in the early 1900s. With the railroad driving the city's growth, Carson's drugstore sat at Radford's heart, in this row of buildings facing the depot and repair shops. Almost a century later, in 1992, a fire gutted the Carson building, putting a hole in the historic downtown. This was a burned-out ruin that sat empty for many years. The town was growing around it, but nobody wanted to invest in this lot.
It gets really complicated when government takes over private property, and we really don't like to do that. Our goal is to keep things in the public hands. When something's not happening in an area that needs improvement, we need to take action as a council, as a local government, so that we don't let those problems become bigger issues and become undesirable for the downtown or for different parts of the community.
Enter the idea of a pocket park. From London to Lynchburg, in big cities and in small towns. This worldwide trend repurposes forgotten spaces so that they become green assets. While a pocket park may be small in size, it isn't built overnight. Creating the park can take a year or more, as step-by-step, city officials must complete property appraisals, sale negotiations, environmental reviews, and demolition and abatement of asbestos or other hazards. Then park construction can finally begin. City leaders used a block grant, one earmarked to fight blight, to turn the former drugstore into a gathering place once again. More than a decade after it was first created, the space now called Carson's Courtyard continues to evolve with its neighborhood. The vintage advertising murals found along the towering brick walls have been recently restored. Updated lighting and other items build on the space's charm. The business next door has teamed up with the Radford Visitor Center to create a summer music series, drawing people downtown.
And if there's people hanging out somewhere, that just brings good vibrations, what's going on over there. So I really appreciate it. I mean, I joked and I said, I hope it doesn't raise my rent, you know what I mean? Because it's such a good thing.
Now town leaders are trying to recapture the magic of Carson's Courtyard on the other side of town. The Triangle Service Station property sits on an awkward lot that makes commercial use difficult. As the neighborhood began reinventing itself, the lot became a detriment to growth. The city, in concert with its Economic Development Authority, bought the land to transform it into a public space. The project will include additional parking, sidewalk improvements, lighting, landscaping, and some seating and eating areas.
One of the nice things about pocket parks throughout a community is they take an area that's a little bit challenged economically and they create some traffic, they create some interest, and they create a welcoming space that helps improve the economy for everybody that's around them. And so it's kind of addition by subtraction in many times. You get rid of the problem and you build something new that really enhances the community.
Radford shows how renewing even a small space can make a big difference for the whole neighborhood, and especially in a historic district.
Coming up, your expert tip explains why job creation maybe shouldn't be the top priority. But first, in Small Town Big Number, Ann Brown shows how a creative investment can really pay off.
Today's number is a ratio, 10 to 1. More about that later. But first, let's talk about how much the arts contribute to rural economies. A recent National Endowment for the Arts study found that North Carolina and Tennessee are the 2 largest rural arts economies in the country, with an arts-related impact of more than $13 billion in each state. Kentucky and West Virginia's numbers are significant as well. The Census Bureau doesn't label Virginia a rural state, so it wasn't included in the report. However, rural Southwest Virginia is definitely on the arts bandwagon. Consider the Crooked Road, with its venues for gospel, bluegrass, and mountain music. In tandem with the Crooked Road, a 15-year-old campaign called Round the Mountain holds workshops to build artisans' entrepreneurial skills. Round the Mountain includes 15 artisan trails where shops and galleries are mapped. Your town may already be a stop on the Crooked Road or Round the Mountain. But can your town do more? An example from Kentucky suggests yes. Paducah, Kentucky suffered post-industrial population loss. Then it took bold, original steps to attract artists to town. Over several years, a historic yet struggling neighborhood was transformed to become a thriving, nationally known arts district, filled with buildings where artists live and work. The city liberalized zoning laws and gave grants to artists to cover professional fees and other costs as they moved into once vacant homes. Artists from around the country relocated to Paducah. The city enlisted a local bank to offer low-interest loans that covered not only the properties, but also the cost to renovate them. So remember that ratio, 10-to-1? 10 years into the project, the city reported a 10-to-1 return on its public investment, on top of bringing new uses to abandoned downtown spaces. Paducah received a Creative City designation from the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO. But best of all, the city drew visitors and new money to town, and that's priceless.
Earlier, we looked at how Radford is tackling blight. Now, Diane Deffenbaugh looks to see what Glade Spring leaders are doing to help maintain their historic town.
Walking into the historic square in Glade Spring can be like a step back in time. For 150 years, the buildings that make up Town Square have stood watch over the tracks to which the town's fortunes were tied. While the commercial district is old, town leadership is working to make sure the town doesn't look shabby. Efforts to revamp the streets are evident in Town Square. Flower gardens burst with color. A charming little free library makes a vibrant addition to the streetscape. Merchants decorate their storefronts to make them inviting and friendly. Fresh coats of paint on 2 community murals emblazon once empty spaces.
If you have a town that just looks vacant and worn down, and what I like to say is people aren't taking pride in what they have, then you're not going to see growth. So we feel like that's one simple thing that we can, as a government, push for.
The town is already seeing change. A dilapidated building that posed a safety hazard has been taken down, and other rundown properties around town are being repaired by new owners. But not all the residents are able to make needed fixes to their homes.
We need to offer something for those people who maybe can't afford it, because we do know that this town has a large elderly community and moderate to low income situations.
With funding from a planning grant, the town is conducting surveys and collecting information on housing conditions and income. That data will pinpoint the area that will most benefit from support. Eliminating eyesores in the community can raise property values, community pride, and quality of life. Deteriorating properties are at the risk of being left vacant, eventually impacting the town's tax revenue.
Not only want to find an area that needs assistance, but you need to find an area that people want assistance. So
once that project area is found, the town will apply for a housing rehabilitation grant to help those residents with improvements.
So some houses are going to need to be rebuilt completely. Other houses will receive funding for roof repair, foundation repair.
Can keeping up appearances help Glade Spring reach its goals for growth? There's a lot on the line as town leaders work to draw more people into town and help businesses here thrive. We'll check back this summer to see what they have achieved.
Next, your expert tip. Communities in Appalachia often point to jobs as their biggest challenge. Ron Rordam, who is Outreach Coordinator for the Rural Resilience Initiative at Virginia Tech, digs deeper.
It's great to say we're going to put a business here, but what we also want to do is create a community where people who work in that business want to live and stay, not drive an hour to get here and drive an hour back somewhere else. And that is, I think, one of the biggest challenges that smaller communities face, is building that sense of place, that the quality of life where people will stay there, build a home, raise a family, and be part of it.
Many of you, of course, know Ron Rordam as a past president of the Virginia Municipal League and former longtime mayor of Blacksburg. You can read a transcript of his complete interview at the Save Our Towns website, where he advises town leaders to set a positive tone and always keep the big picture in mind. Click on the Connect with Experts tab. Now, a reminder about Virginia Cooperative Extension, whose agents and specialists live and work around the Commonwealth. They're dedicated to subjects such as land management, community leadership, and youth development. On the Save Our Towns website, click on the Extension tab. There you can learn much more. You'll find extension agents listed along with their areas of expertise and contact information. Next, it's on to a Southwest Virginia town in the midst of a multi-million-dollar, years-long downtown makeover, including $8 million just for streetscapes and roads. Here are 3 questions for the mayor.
Grant D. Foley, Mayor, City of Salem. Pride. There's a lot of community pride in Salem, and I think that definitely would be a word that would be associated with our city. I think like all localities throughout Southwest Virginia, it's raising revenue, generating revenue to continue providing the services and the education that we are accustomed to here in Salem. And so just trying to tackle economic development, provide new opportunities and amenities in the downtown area, bring in outside organizations to come host, to come to sporting events that we're hosting here. Anything to bring people in, because in theory that generates revenue, because they're going to eat in restaurants, stay in hotels, go to grocery stores, convenience stores, etc. So that's all we're really trying to do, is attract people. That we have a new vibrant downtown area, and it's growing and improving as we speak. And for those who haven't visited in a while, should come over and check out some of the new restaurants and hotels and stores that are in our downtown area. I mean, all of Salem is improving, but especially the Main Street corridor from east to west. It's growing and improving and changing, and if people haven't been here for a while, I would encourage them to stop by.
This is the 6th and final episode of Season 6. Watch for our year-end update from Glade Spring this summer. Meanwhile, to view past episodes and to dive deeper into resources and a wealth of information about small towns, go to the Save Our Towns website, and please send your thoughts to saveourtowns@vt.edu. We read and respond to every email. Thanks for watching.